Hello, Kia. How are you today?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for asking. We have chatted a little bit about your experience and your recruiting experience, some of your sales experience. You definitely have a great resume, very impressive, with lots of
Yeah.
experience. So, why don't we just go ahead and get started? I'd love to hear in your own words a little bit about what you have been doing for work.
All right. So, in the past, I've done recruiting with Falcon Core Services. In that position, I staff healthcare positions, so such as LPNs, RNs. They're also known as LVNs. Um, I've done physical therapists, and that's those sort of positions. Um, and I've also done some HR staffing as well at LTP Virtual Solutions.
Okay, great. And so who are you staffing for? Are these for hospitals, doctors' offices?
Majority were my hospital positions. I would say
Okay.
95% were hospital positions. They were temporary positions, so anywhere from 8 weeks to 24-week contracts, and then they would move on to the next assignment.
Okay. And when you're doing actually an interview, what stands out to you to push someone through to that next step? How is someone successful in the interview to move to the next step?
So what stands out to me is building rapport with the recruits. Mainly, we look at well at Falcon Core Services, we looked at the education and their skills. Those were big things in their licenses. Of course, when you're healthcare, it's a little different from staffing HR positions, but their rapport and the way that they interview, the way that they speak, just to be able to connect with me as a human being, not just talking business all the time, but just being able just to connect with somebody as a human being was big for me.
Okay, I agree. I agree. As a recruiter, I definitely agree. So as far as like how did you measure your success when you were there?
Oh, I'm so sorry, this late. Um, I measured my success by actually how many clients or how many recruits I can retain. I feel like you can recruit anybody, they can do that job and then they're on to the next. But if you can maintain and retain them to put them at another assignment, I feel like I've done my job as, a recruiter. And then second, as a human being, just being able to connect with that person that they trust me enough to say, hey, you could put me in another position. I love the way everything went. Everything was smooth. That's the customer service side of recruiting. Um, so that's how I measured my basically my metrics and what I was doing.
Yeah, I love that. That's so true. It's very easy to place someone, but to make sure that you made the right fit for the client, and of course the right fit for the talent, that's huge. So great answer. Thank you for sharing that. So let's go on the opposite spectrum. So how like if you had a stumble, tell me about your recovery process when you stumbled.
Okay, so when I stumble, I brush my knees off and I get up and I continue to move. Again, like we were speaking earlier, I have 14 years of law enforcement, and I hit a lot of lows there. I hit a lot of blows there, and that just taught me to be resistant and to continue to push. I mean, I can give you an example. I had a position that was really hard to fill. It was in a very rural area of Illinois, and the nurse we couldn't get anybody to fill the position. It was 4 months, nobody could fill it, and it finally made it to my desk. And I had a nurse that was finishing up in New York, and I knew that she wanted to be back home with her mom, and it was fairly close to the area that was open. And I said, hey, because we got good rapport. I said, hey, I'm gonna go back home to your mom, and I know your assignment is almost ending. Um, you want to take a stab at this job? And she was like, yeah, sure. She went there. They loved it. It was a great connection. So although it took us a very long time to fill that position, it felt good for not just because, oh, I filled the position. It's because I feel like the whole team as a self won because somebody had to get it filled. I'm glad it was me, but I was able to get her into that position. So that was my stumble. but I was able to get back up and recover, and not give up.
Love that. That's a really great story. Um, so I'm going to go to the final question um, here of the recording of portion of the interview. I'd love to know about your experience with diversity and inclusion in the recruitment process and how you would ensure a diverse pool of candidates. It's something that is so very important in what we do. So tell me how you ensure that.
I ensure that, one, because me being a minority, I feel like it is very big to have diversity in the workplace, and inclusion. The current position I'm at now, they're very big on inclusion and diversity as well. I just feel like it gives the company a better, like, I don't want to say a better view, but I feel like being more diverse, we learn from each other. There's things that, I might do differently from someone else from a different background. So I feel like it's very important, especially in the times that we're in now, to be very inclusive and have, you know, a nice majority of diversity from all walks of life. So I'm very big on diversity and inclusion, especially during my recruiting process.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you for answering that. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and don't hang up, though. We got a few more things to chat about. Thanks.